Hello, Alexander. Really appreciate your time to join me here for this interview. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you.
Awesome.
So, the reason I invited you on is because in the freelancing channel, I saw a post from you where you generated a business making 3.5K a month at the moment. Obviously, you're scaling it from the skills you learn in the real world. So I'll want to go into that a bit later on. For now, I'd like to begin with, what was your life like before joining the real world?
Well, before joining the real world, to be honest, I didn't have any like-minded people like to work in conjunction with. Most people that I knew, they didn't really want to work hard or like make more money than their peers. And it's kind of funny, but most people that I was talking to, like for them, like 3K a month was like, oh yeah, I'm rich now. Like I don't need to work anymore. Like that was like the maximum that they thought was like achievable. And like as that being like the limit of like, oh, I'm successful at 3K or like 3.5, whatever. And I always wanted more, and I knew that people that would successful people that were buying like really expensive cars or big houses like every 3 weeks, you can't be making that small amount of money and having this like big lifestyle. And I knew that also, like, even though it's kind of cliche for people to say, oh yeah, but money doesn't buy you happiness. Well, it depends how you spend it. So, and it's kind of an easy way for people, in the matrix to say, okay, money doesn't buy happiness, just to make it easier for them to cope. But when you see people that are rich, that are happy, you have to question that thought. And that's why I wanted to join the real world and increase my income and also become independent in the sense that I wasn't relying on a geographically fixed job. So I could be working from anywhere around the globe, and I wanted to have my own team, my own controlled income. I wanted to really to control my income, even if in the first 3 months I was making the same or less than, let's say, a regular job. I knew that in the long run I'll be making much more, and also the independence that I would get from it would be much more rewarding and valuable.
What was your living situation like before you joined? Was it normal? Were you struggling in any way?
I wasn't struggling financially, but it wasn't obviously the paradise in the sense that I wasn't making 5-10 grand a month or any big money or like flashy cars. Like I don't have a car, and I was just a regular student going to school, and my parents helped finance my rent for the apartment. So I've got my own apartment with my brother, but other than that, I wasn't living like a crazy lifestyle, just a regular guy doing his studies. But since I joined the real world, I've also like increased considerably my income, and as I said, like become independent, not just from regular jobs, but also independent from my family or from some friends that I don't need to rely on if I need to buy something or need to go somewhere, because I can do that through my own means now. And so yeah, that's something that's really changed my life. The fact that I've been able to become more autonomous financially helped me just become more autonomous in my whole life, really.
How did you find out about the real world?
Found out through, so obviously I've been following Tate since 2020. He's been like, before he blew up on TikTok, I was watching his Tate Confidentials, him boxing Luke in the living room, and his rants in his Aston Martin, that kind of stuff. But then I came through, I saw a video of a YouTuber, Alex Kong. Obviously he's quite popular right now, and I saw a video of him reviewing the real world. Before it was called HU, obviously, and before then, like I had a look at it, but I didn't think it was like anything special because I hadn't really, looked into detail. But when I saw the big results that these guys that were posting about, and how it was achievable with hard work and with patience, and all the materials were given to you, like there's no excuse once you're in there to not make money. Well, I was like, well, this is something I need, because actually, like, this can make me financially free, or at least give me some sense of freedom in the mid to short term. And so that's why I joined. To be honest, I found that most other educational platforms were like messy or old school, and like the content was outdated, and also the people teaching were mostly interested about you paying them and not about the content that they delivered. And so when I saw that the teachers like were already millionaires and like they didn't really need an extra 20K a month, like they were already like set, I saw the amount of time that they put into the content and the videos and the AMAs and the Q&As and the like, and any stuff that they scheduled for the students. I realized that this wasn't just a average course that I was buying. This was like properly thought out, and also like they had in mind the long term of the students. They weren't thinking of just a quick buck. I'll get your setup. I'll get your fee and then I'll bounce. Like this was like getting better and better each month. More students were coming in. The lessons were getting better, higher quality, more information, more detailed information. And if there was a problem, let's say in the copywriting, for example, let's say Andrew found out that too many people were using the same sequences. Well, then he changed it and then he added extra lessons. Like he didn't give up. And he was always able to self-analyze what the students were doing compared to his work, and also, change how he would frame it to better explain how to use the materials. So that aspect was also very valuable for me, because obviously having an educational platform that's constantly being updated is obviously like very useful compared to something that's after 6 months is completely useless on the internet, to be honest.